Fallout, I watched the whole thing, and because like I saw it came across my feed on Twitter and whatnot, like a pretty equal mix.
And you're like, I have 8.5 hours.
Yeah, I've had 8.5. I watched it over the past week or so, and so it was. I didn't like guzzle through it, but I saw a lot of people online being like, oh, this isn't Fallout, or other people saying like this is the best adaptation of all time, and it was freeing as someone who has so little knowledge or intuition, and I don't know anything about the Fallout universe, just watching it as someone and just being like, I guess whatever this is the lore.
I wanted 15 seconds before I hand off the floor. I've never played Fallout. I don't know the lore, and I really enjoyed the show. So if anyone out there is in that position, there's my take.
Yeah, it was mostly.
I played Fallout from Fallout 3 onwards. I didn't play the first two. I dabbled after, but I just didn't have the patience for it. Fallout 3 onwards, I thought the show was so good. Leading up to the show, I saw a clip, and it was very just like shitty Disney vibes. It was the Vault Dweller, and she had this thing where she was like, I'm going to assume you're the aggressor. And according to that, and it just felt like TikTok-y, it felt like Disney humor, and I was like, oh, I don't want this.
Yeah, that was a bad
But then
scene.
when I watched the show, I started watching the show, and right when that raider like wipes his dick after having sex with the main character, and there's weird dark jokes and gore, and just how crazy the the ode to the VATS system, which is the slow aiming where heads blow up and stuff. Now that part that I thought was weird and bad ended up playing in nicely, because Fallout, every game basically has this trope where you start as a vault dweller, except for New Vegas, and you leave the vault and you've lived a coddled life, and now you get out there and people are eating each other and there's ghouls and it's crazy. And the show was good at that. I thought it was so good. And I actually think it might be one of my favorite video game adaptations ever, because like I loved, like there's two types of adaptations basically. There's Last of Us, which I loved. And then there's Halo, the series, which started off, decisions were made. I didn't back it, but where it is now, it's fun. It's a fun show. Halo season 2 was very fun. Not my Halo, whatever. But then there's these two ends. You have Last of Us, where if you've played the game, you don't need to watch the show. It's identical. Identical. And then you have Halo, where it's like, you play the game, you might not want to watch the show because it's going to do some crazy shit. But then you have Fallout, where there's no main character because you make that person. So there's no attachment to a specific thing quite like there is to the vibe of it and all that. And I thought it was perfect. Like the universe they nailed it. I love that they put money into it, and they meant it. I found it funny. And I watched one episode, and then I watched the rest of it like the next day and a half. I did sit down and watch like 3.5 hours of Fallout twice. And it was easy.
I know I'm coming from a place of low information, but I think it's kind of neat that they made a new storyline, a new show, obeying the Fallout universe's rules mostly, instead of just retelling the game you saw.
But that's the beauty of Fallout. Also, like the benefit is like, you're going to tell a Fallout 3 show? Okay, use my character. Like this random dude who literally wore a ghoul mask the entire time and ate dead bodies to lower his karma to crazy levels, who lived in Tenpenny Tower and killed everyone inside and let the ghouls there, who whacks off at the top of Tenpenny Tower with a ghoul mask on. Like,
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just, but I did like how like they like just the character that she like had that weird like thing with her cousin, and he was like, you want to make my cock explode? All these things could have been so bad if I saw them as a clip, but in the context of the show, it was fun and funny.
Dude, I love the cock explode thing. Kyle, I'm sorry. Let me let you talk.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so there's this one character who comes from a place of like sex education, and sex is somewhat recreational and such. And then there's another character who doesn't even know how his body works. He says his dick gets hard like a pimple and then pops. Like he's just out of it. And she's like, you want to bang? And he's like, oh, like, I don't think the guy even kisses. And it was kind of neat to see these two backgrounds meet in the show. And that's all.
And it's also, everything's like I always thought the games about Fallout, the best parts about it were kind of, exploring in a weird way American values and things that were important to America and the ideal aspect of America and then the reality of America and all of it kind of being shifted around and played with the bomb, and you meet different people, different factions. Oh, the ghouls are bad, and then you meet ghouls that actually aren't feral and they could be people, and it was like that. And they always had these, like, there are people in America where sex isn't a big deal at all, and you learn it in and then there are people where, like, they grew up and it is not discussed at all. That's like a fucking thing you don't talk about. And then having this encounter, it's this exaggerated play on. I always thought I just felt like the writing was great, everything was great, and it walked a line because before I saw it, I had no hope. And maybe I'm hyping it up to the people listening too much. I didn't go in with high hopes. I was kind of like, oh, this is gonna be so dumb, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was fucking
great.
I
thought the same. I was afraid they were going to ruin another franchise the way the Halo thing just really didn't appeal to me. Maybe the first episode of Halo, I liked a ton. Like I loved that it had the sound effects and the feel and the look, and then Master Chief like takes his helmet off and becomes a rebel. Then he takes his pants off.
He fucks a Covenant
and then
human.
He fucks.
What?
And then I'm like, all right, bro. I Master Chief is hanging dong. That is not the Master Chief I know. Okay, he hasn't even pulled that cod piece off and watered the fucking garden with Cortana's sexy ass in his head all the time. He's certainly not gonna bang some like, half traitor like monster messiah thing or whatever. So that upset me. So the Fallout thing, I came in with low expectations. I watched none of the trailers. And I agree with everything you said. Like you nailed it. The Last of Us thing is a story. It's a very on the rails narrative. So it's easy to adapt and give people what they want as long as you don't change too many things or cast poorly. But Fallout is a make your own story kind of thing. So I'm sure you and I both played New Vegas. Who won in your playthrough? You know, who did you side with?
I've played
it's always different.
Dozens of hours of every Fallout game.
Yeah.
I never beat a single one.
Oh, no.
It is the most sidetracked fucking game of all time. Like when I told you about my Fallout 3 character, that's where I stopped. Living in Tenpenny Tower, wearing a ghoul mask, eating people's bodies. That's where my game ended.
When you play games,
going to find my dad never mattered anymore.
If I played Fallout, I would try to minimize the number of steps my character took.
I do that now. Now I'm like, if I want to beat this, like I can't get sidetracked because I was always a completionist at heart, and I just don't have the time anymore. Like I can't. But back then, like I never Fallout 4, also a ton of hours. Fallout New Vegas, a ton of hours. Never beat them.
I don't know if it's too early to change the topic, but there are 7 video game TV shows coming up. I'm kind of excited for some.
Which games? Do you have a list or anything?
Yeah, I do. My wife actually brought it up as a show topic.
Yeah, I'm actually
shout
curious.
out Jackie.
So first one is BioShock. And these are, by the way, like greenlit. These are all.
Who's making them? Do you have that info?
What sucks for BioShock is my hopes are high now because of Fallout.
Yeah,
like, and I hold those games like very high in my mind. So
BioShock is top tier of video game stories as well.
I tried to play Fallout New Vegas, but I tried it after Fallout 4, and there were, like, you know, if you're not used to an old game and you learn,
you gotta have the nostalgia.
Like you, not even the nostalgia, but like you jump in on a version that has a lot of quality of life changes added as far as like user interface and all that shit and making it smooth. Like if I would have started on Fallout 2 or whatever the fuck like one from 12 years ago was, I probably would have enjoyed it. But going from Fallout 4 backwards, I was like, oh, this looks so much worse. And it's
gonna mod the fuck out of it. Yeah, New Vegas is the best story wise.
That's what everybody says.
4 is the most stable and easily moddable.
Yeah.
And 76
I find New Vegas to be kind of annoying. Like a lot of the way you like move in between, like when you go to the towns, you have to go in through like a certain door, and then you have like this loading this, or you'll go to like, so you go to the town and you get there and you have to walk all the way around to the other side of the town to go in the door, and it's like, and it's annoying as fuck. But you can mod all that shit, but it's like like you need 100 gig of mods to make that game good. Now
I remember that specifically in New Vegas, where I was like showing up at like some town, and I'm like, I'm here. All right, there's no possible way they want me to walk around the entire fence to go in the 2 miles of in-game from here. I'm clearly missing an entrance somewhere. Where's the missing entrance? And it's like, I looked it up online. It's like, no, you're just supposed to kind of meander through the desert and survive with your cap gun until you get to the main
I
end.
tried to get into Fallout, but Kyle ruined it for me.
How so?
Woody doesn't
So-
like RPGs.
At the time, I was a live streamer, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give Fallout a try. And Kyle pops in the stream, and he's like, hey, I play this game a lot. I could be your tour guide. So he does. He pops in. We're playing in the same game, but he's so high
Very
that we
high.
just get lost for like an hour or so. The game couldn't be more. It's just a walk around in the desert lost simulator, and I'm like, this game sucks, and I never played it.
So he was a terrible guide.
Well,
So-
you also like the way Woody
That's
played
the thing,
Skyrim
like,
was
For anybody who's played Fallout New Vegas and just heard that, they went, but that's the game. It is walk around. This is what I always say about you and RPGs. Look, I'll admit I was high and I did get us lost. However,
He apologized afterwards. It really happened like that.
yeah, I know. I often apologize when I don't think I'm right. I thought that, or when I still think I'm right.
Now you're just gaslighting him.
Yeah. No, it was terrible. It was a horrible game made
That's-
worse.
No, that's what you do. When you play RPGs, you seem to want to like speed run the main quest. But like
I'm a bit of
the
a
way
winner.
to play that like the way to play that game is to get lost in the desert and like run into some rad roaches and
You're all jealous
end
because I
up in a
beat
cave
Skyrim
somewhere.
faster than you.
Yeah, the way you played Skyrim pisses me off because I
What do you do?
like, I
Just
love
main
jealous.
quest?
I
Covered
just-
this
speed
a
runs
second
it.
ago.
I love RPGs. I just have to like get into the universe, and I just, as listeners know, like I'm much more sucked in by the fantasy magic world of like Skyrim and
By the
Oblivion.
time
and all
I
that.
rock up, I
like-
rock up to the final boss in Skyrim, man, I'm fucking one hitting that guy with my pinky finger because I've done so many side quests.
Oh, that dude Alduin or whatever, he's
Yeah.
never even given me a second of trouble because like
Man.
I'm like the fucking prince of Winterhold. I'm the head of the Thieves Guild.
Exactly.
Actually, I'm not the head of the Thieves Guild yet because I'm not going to finish that quest because I want the skeleton key. And so I want the skeleton key all the time. The way Woody played Skyrim,
I'll play
is
Skyrim
he
and
just
forget
went,
the shouts because
he went-
I
yeah.
don't want to do those quests. I'm like, I'm not doing those quests.
I do that exact
Right.
thing where like
Yeah.
I'll get to a point in the game where it's like you have to shout yourself through some barricade and it's like fuck, now I have to go do that really boring part of the game where you're like talking to wizards at the top of the mountain. I want to get to the fun
Yeah.
bits. But the way Woody plays Skyrim is literally like he's
See, they're
never
another
done
one of those, they're another one of those organizations with those gay
that was
initiation
bugged.
rituals. The
Is there an
wizards.
Assassin's Guild? or something?
the assassin brother the Dark Brotherhood. You never did that. That's the most fun side
You, like,
quest of the whole
can't
game.
do it. Like I did something wrong, and there might have been a bug, and it was just impossible to ever try again.
That
Oh,
does
I know
happen,
the-
where, like,
yeah,
the
yeah,
mother
I
in
know
the
exactly what
coffin
you're talking about.
freezes.
It's like you keep talking to the person and they pretend they're like, what are you still doing here, initiate? You need to go get the Magus Macacus. And you're like, here it is. And this is it. You like drop it at their feet and it's like, well, enough wasting my time around here. And he walks away with like a MacGuffin at his feet. And it's just like,
That was frustrating. But like to speed run Skyrim is insane. Like
I'll
a lot
never
of the
know what's
fun
behind
is
the
just
waterfall. I'll never know.
just meandering about is so much of the fun. Like being the most powerful wizard and like when you get late game, you can just fuck around where it's like, all right, can I kill every guard in every city? And of course you can. Or can I paralyze every single person in Jarl Balgruuf's employ? Where you go in there and he's like, here comes the helm of Winterfell. And then you're like, and you paralyze him and everyone's like, no, come with me peacefully. And then you hit B, then you fuck them up. Good times. Then of course you have to load your save. because you don't
Did you
wanna-
play Starfield?
Fucked Amazon.
well, what they're not taking a bath on is Fallout. It turned out to be, it broke all sorts of records. It's one of the most streamed shows they've ever had. Maybe the most streamed show they've ever had. Super successful. And I think what's going to happen now is people are going to, seeing that success, are going to start looking for any video game property to make a series or a movie out of. So in 3 years from now, you can bet there's going to be a slew of more video game adaptations trying to take advantage of that.
I'll watch the next season of Fallout. It was like it kept my attention. It was like I don't think I'll rewatch it. Like I didn't like it that much, but I want more of Walton Goggins. A similar fine amount of the girl. I liked her all right. Like I wasn't like didn't love her character, didn't dislike her character. She was just kind of the vehicle through which the show moved. And then I want that lunatic doctor who was like
chicken fucker.
The chicken fucker. I want a lot more of him. There cannot be too much of that guy. He was good.
I like the show a lot. I'm looking forward to its return in 2 years, by the way.
Why do they do that shit now?
Well, they spend a bunch of money. They invest all that money in making season 1, and then they market it and they release it, and then they have to wait until we all like it and they see that it's profitable to make more, and then they pull the trigger on the more, and the wheels only then start turning. That's the problem.
I don't like that. They need to, have some balls. Start season 2 right after season 1 is done. Have some confidence in your product.
Usually season 3 is quick to follow though, because they'll often green light like season 2 and 3 when they get going again. The Boys is coming back soon, which I'm excited for. I heard Fallout season 2 episode 1 came out either last night or the night before.
Oh, I didn't know. It's out.
Yeah.
HBO?
They're doing weekly episode drops, but episode 1 season 2 is out. For all the Fallout New Vegas fans, it's just nostalgia fucking central. I was watching with a big smile, as they were like going from one point of interest that I know from the game to another. I'm just like, I'm looking at my girlfriend like, you don't even know.
I don't know, but I like the show. I've never played. Well, I played the game for like 45 minutes, but I'm down. I like the first season. It was really good.
This one is
off to a good start.
I liked the first episode a lot. I didn't feel like there was any step down in quality or comedy or content. They, without any spoilers, you immediately get like some Fallout New Vegas like big iron on his hip like music while the ghoul just goes through a slow motion montage of murdering people. Like you immediately get your candy like in the opening scene or something like that. And then, like I said, because I love New Vegas, every step of the way through the desert to the points of interest. And then, of course, it has the flashbacks to the world before the war. And I like that stuff, too, because that's you're going back and forth between the ghoul's, former life as Walton Goggins. And, with
I'll have to check New Vegas yet, but I bet I'm a lot better than Wings is.
Oh, you probably are, just because of the way your mind works.
Yeah. So
Wings Wings has a... I'm trying to think. He's like he looks for stuff a lot. Okay, so like I haven't made a video in about a week, but in the last one I mentioned this. I was like, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get to the checkpoint, and then I'm coming back here to look through all of these desks and all these boxes and all these crates. I don't think you guys want to see me look through this desk for the next 5 minutes, and that's what it's gonna take because this room is full of desks, and I want to search them all. And everybody was super cool with that. I watched a Wings Redemption Fallout video one time. And it was where you walk to Jacobstown. Are you familiar with this walk, anyone? Yes. It's a very long walk to Jacobstown. You encounter the giant praying mantises. Anyway, he puts the whole walk in the video and just kind of scavenges praying mantises. And that's like a 15-minute video. It's him walking and killing
video,
praying mantises.
I did edit that video. That video also has the legendary Kedzor in it. And I edited it to the point where I showed where you can find the I won't call them elf roots, but I've been playing a lot of Dragon Age, but they're essentially things you make the stem pack with. They're almost turnip looking things.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm just there was a lot of scavenging.
I do scavenge a lot, but
you do.
The reason I do it that way is that because that's what I enjoyed watching in XCal's LP of Fallout,
and that's why Woody would be so much better than you.
Well, I'm naturally gifted at video games in a way that Wings isn't.
I've watched Woody play Skyrim though, dude.
I was amazing, right?
Behind the waterfall.
People behind the waterfall. Yeah, I don't want to hurt Wings' feelings, but I'm really good at video games in a way that he can only aspire to be.
I'm just gonna say this, Kyle. I watched you play Lonesome Road, and I thought Kyle is struggling. And I can do this. I can do Lonesome Road at level 8.
I'm not. You cannot do. You cannot do Lonesome Road. How could you possibly do it? How are you going to kill 3 Death Claws at level 8?
Landmines.
Is the one where you use the landmine? Your explosive skill is shit at that point. You can put all your points in explosive.
No,
there aren't any landmines in there anyway. They're satchel charges.
There's 40. I mean, you pick up landmines.
In that DLC, there are no landmines. It's satchel charges.
I understand there's satchel charges there, but you pick up landmines beforehand. You also can buy them.
Yeah, but the satchel
Level
charges
8
do
is a
2,000
considerable
points of
level.
damage, just like the C4 does. So it's the way to go.
I don't even know this game. Lonesome Road?
It's the expansion for Fallout.
Oh yeah, I bet I'd be better at that than Wings.
That's the nerdiest Fallout.
Did you not watch my
ever.
video where I beat Thor, the hardest monster in the game at level 14?
I
Level
didn't
1
see
for me.
that, but I'm just not impressed because all you gotta do is spam the flare gun on him and use, I don't know what you used, maybe probably a 50 cal or
I
something.
use landmines. I just landmined him.
Oh well, I mean that's super newbie. Come on, you shot him with a flare gun and threw a bunch of landmines down.
I didn't shoot him with the flare gun. I just walked
You
out.
didn't shoot him with the flare
walked
gun.
back and landmines killed him.
You don't have time to plant more than 3 landmines before he gets to where you are in the cave.
Set it up, son. Have you not watched me play Call of Duty? You set everybody up. You make them play your
There's
game.
a fucking
You don't play
cutscene
theirs.
before you enter the cave. You walk in, the walls collapse. There's no way you can change the
There is
position
a
you begin.
corner back there. He doesn't trigger until you go around the corner. Cave comes in like this and swoops around.
Yeah.
You plant the landmines right here at the choke point, and you go set him up. He comes in. You run back to the corner behind the rock, and landmine blows him up.
So let me ask you
Wings
this.
camps in
Let
fucking
me-
Fallout.
No,
Wings-
because he's still wrong. There's no way he can. I got to see this video because how do you keep
I
Eddie
will
from
bring this
alerting
video
him?
for you.
Eddie's right there next to you. Eddie alerts him every time. He gets in a fight with Eddie, and then that's it. What do you
I'm
turn
so
Eddie off?
tempted to end the Fallout talk, but I
we
feel
should.
like
we
do
should.
people want to hear this? It's your
No,
call. Your
People
call.
love Fallout
Stupid.
talk.
It's really stupid. This part is.
I'm gonna let it roll. I'm gonna let it. I did not end the Fallout talk.
No, I like how passionate they are about it.
Oh my
That's
god,
what
there
makes it
is a
endearing.
video. All right.
All right, I gotta watch this.
I
now.
want to see.
I
it.
died the first couple times. If you want to skip ahead to about a minute 36, I changed my plans up.
All right, I'm gonna play this
Is
muted.
that the new link?
Yeah. All right.
So I see him. He's dropping landmines. I think that's what he's doing. Graphics are kind of weird.
The landmine strategy I used to kill him is at like 2 minutes.
Okay, I gotta skip. Okay.
So I'm at
skip to like a minute
140
50.
now. Come up with it.
How did you spawn? Oh, okay, I see where you are.
See, I'm using the pet boy to kind of give me time to react to him because he's really quick. But yeah,
His speed's like 7 or something. No, his speed's 10.
he's easily the fastest monster on the game. But
He's got-
how you do it?
Did he just die?
I didn't see you plant the landmines.
Oh, he did. I saw it. It was at like
Where did you get
135.
that many landmines?
You can find those just on the way to it. On that playthrough right there, I started at level 1. I walked straight to Lonesome
Well, see,
Road.
this sucks now, Wings, because let me tell you why. I just have gotten to Roar. That's where my last game ended. And my next video is about how to deal with it. And now I have to do it in a different way than you just fucking did. I can't do it your way. Everybody's gonna be like, oh, good thing you watched that Wings of Redemption. No, I got to come up with my own fucking way of dealing with this monster.
Melee.
There's nothing in Fallout New Vegas I can't do. I can
Melee
beat
him.
the legendary blowfly at like level 10 if I needed to.
Yeah, Wings, that's awesome, dude.
For the record, I didn't end the Fallout talk. Did it come to a natural conclusion?
I hope so.
I think it did.
Am I supposed to be playing Fallout? Is this game?
Yes.
How amazing can this game be that years later it's the one to get?
It's pretty good.
Dude, did you see the announcement?
No.
Yeah, I saw something about a website.
I saw
Yeah, they
Uncharted 4 is
registered-
coming out.
ZeniMax has a website with a countdown on it, and it's just on like December 13th. And it has Morse code going over the back of it, and it's basically hinting at Fallout.
So
We don't know what.
Is my transformation to a douchebag complete? Does Fallout have a PC version?
Oh yeah, it's
Yes, it
Fallout
does.
3
yes, it does. It's superior on the PC.
It's superior on the PC.
Very much so. Don't pay 3 because you got a Titan, but get New Vegas because 3 will not work on the Titan without a lot of background surgery. Because it's designed for it's designed for a dual core processor,
Mm-hmm.
and like when it struggles with like when you have like 8+ cores.
And
or
forgive
more.
my Fallout noobness here, but Fallout New Vegas is not
Latest
it's Fallout 4 essentially.
No, it's like a big
it's like Call of
expansion of
Duty.
3.
It's deeper than that. But call it New Vegas. Call Fallout. Fallout New Vegas is the one you want to get. There's a lot of expansion stuff.
If it's an
there's crazy
expansion
stuff
to
you
3, doesn't that mean it is 3?
It's not an expansion to 3. It's
built
they're all
off the
within the
3's
same
engine.
But it's a completely separate game that came out.
It's a completely separate game, but it's basically the Fallout 3 engine, and they used the same engine without like creating a new one and made another game type game with it.
Kind of like COD does every year.
But no, they added key gameplay mechanics. They added the ability to aim down sights and some other things that made it a much.
It's a great game.
Okay, so Fallout New Vegas is the one that if I have some time to poke around with, try it.
It's like $10 right now on Steam.
And you want to get like the ultimate super duper edition or whatever it is because it's got a lot of DLC.
Yeah.
And you get goodies that come along with it.
Mm-hmm. I've been saving my money since the start of YouTube. I got $10.
We're gonna show up next week. Woody's gonna be in the same clothes as he is tonight. He's like, I started playing New Vegas.
Fallout was everything you said it was.
Like, I don't know if Woody will like it. He didn't like Skyrim.
I don't. But there's a thing. What was it?
Better.
Fallout is better than Skyrim.
Was since Skyrim, I played another game. When I played Skyrim, the only kind of game that I really had appreciation for was the on rails game, right? Like BioShock, I wanted better rails, but I really liked it. Call of Duty campaigns, loved it on rails. I wish I could go on. And every game I played. Borderlands, my problem with Borderlands was that I didn't know which missions were, in my mind, only side missions. But since Borderlands 2 came out, since I started playing Minecraft, since I started playing other games, like I got a little... I guess I understand how to have fun in RPG better than I did when I played Skyrim.
I love RPGs. That's
Fallout is the kind of game that's so There's 3 different ways you can play it. There's the main quest. You can stick straight to that. Then there are such a multitude of side quests that it's ridiculous. There's multiple cities, multiple factions, and it gets really complex.
A lot of RPGs, if you don't do the side quests, you struggle in the main quests. Is that the case?
No, it's not. You can go from level 1 all the way to the end of the game and not struggle.
Really?
I thought what you were asking was if some of the side quests affected the end of the game.
No. So in Borderlands, for example, if you skip all the side quests, you're going to find yourself underleveled. Your weapons won't work as well. You won't qualify for the right weapons. You need to spend some time in the side quests, or you're going to be using a PC.
The difference between Fallout and Borderlands is Fallout you want to be in the side quest, whereas Borderlands you need to be in the side quest.
Yeah, and you do not need this side quest at all. You could completely level up to a high level in Fallout by hanging out in the desert and killing wildlife. You don't have to do anything. Like you can max out shooting.
You don't have to shoot the wildlife. Your companion will do it for you.
Yeah, you could. I have often thought that the way to boost in Fallout is to turn the difficulty down a little bit and just crouch in the middle of that sandy racetrack where all those giant ants are and let Boone go to work.
He'll do that on very hard, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I'm gonna play it on very hard. Is very hard the top level?
Not yet. Just play it on.
I played on
normal or hard.
There was a time when I had kind of a gamer pride, and I would beat everything on the toughest level because that's the kind of elite badass gamer I am. But now it's like it kind of feels like work to me sometimes to do that, and I don't want to be measured. I just want to have fun.
Fallout on very hard. It's too much. It's not a sophisticated enough game to make very hard what it should be. Instead, the enemies are just bullet sponges who do massive amounts of damage, which isn't fun. So normal or hard is the way to go. I'm hoping the next Fallout game, very hard means very smart.
Here's the thing, Kyle. The numbers don't change. What happens is you take a percentage, and like on hard you take negative 25% damage on your bullets, and you take 25% more damage. On very hard you take 50.
I'm aware.
So that doesn't. Yeah, that actually does line up with what Kyle said. I think.
It's just dumb.
I feel like in Call of Duty, when you step it up, your character has less health. I don't know that anything else changes.
Call of Duty, they're better shots,
tougher.
Is the enemy tougher?
The enemies are way better shots.
Your guns do less damage, and your enemies are better shots. And one of the ways they do it is how long it takes your enemy to snap on target and how ferocious he is. Sometimes, like on very hard, man, It's challenging.
I'll tell you, with
I
the exception of
very
Black
hard.
Ops 2, I've never played COD on anything but veteran.
It's Fallout is a really enjoyable experience
Black
because
Ops
you
2.
can. What I was getting at earlier is, you can do the main story, you can do the side stories, or you can just wander the desert doing random crazy stuff like hunting.
Imagine if I start participating in this Fallout talk.
It'd be great.
It's really good. The storylines are great. They're really in-depth side stories with so much background.
And it's better on
heart to them.
PC. So
Yeah.
the next Fallout. Here, I'll ask this. I always thought of Fallout as a console title. Maybe I just embarrassed myself there. And it came out later on PC. Is that not the case?
No, it comes out on PC
At
same time as.
I wasn't aware it was out on console.
Yeah.
Really?
Fallout is a game you should play on PC. Like, it's what it is.
There's numerous reasons why. For one thing, with all the new texture packs and everything, and everything they've done.
Just the load times, dude. Like on
load times are severe.
So there's like a 10-second between every door.
True.
Like my PC, the
I
areas
didn't-
are all one.
I didn't like Fallout, but it looks spectacular. I probably played it for like a couple of hours. It looks incredible.
Really? The thing with the boy and the watch, the green and black screen looks good?
I just liked it. It just felt like I was immersed in this thing. I
Pip-Boy.
liked it.
Fuck that! I
But
got
I
a
just-
Pimp Boy.
Yeah, son, I wish I had a
My shit
Pit
is
Boy in
gold.
real life.
I just didn't
You can
get on
make
with
it.
the game.
I've seen it done with an Android.
You know,
I'll be like, click, 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 click.
I hate
Al,
to take
get
us
your
off
ass up
Fallout
here.
talk.
They're up there talking.
Someday, someone is gonna. The next Fallout will release, and it's gonna be like Skyrim, where everyone is interested in this game for a couple of months, and I'm gonna be way behind because I didn't play the previous Fallouts.
You don't. They all stand alone.
Yeah, they kind of do. Yeah.
You say that, but like, isn't there going to be a leveling up system that you really understand much better than me?
Skyrim had a different leveling up system than Oblivion.
But you don't think that you'll walk? No. Here's what I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure you will walk into the next Fallout way ahead of me.
Yeah, using the Pip Boy and stuff like that. Like, using some of the stuff in the game. Yeah.
But it's not impossible to pick up. Oh yeah, you can play it now.
I mean, like Black Ops 2, it's on the back burner at this point. Like, there's no channel running specifically off Black Ops 2. Maybe TB&R frags, but like most channels, it's kind of like, background footage. Oh, this is me doing pretty good, and here's what I'm going to talk about. Just do that with Fallout.
Yeah, I could. I was thinking about doing that more lately. Just freaking throwing on other games.
I mean, I was putting Halo 4 stuff up. As long as I wasn't talking about Halo 4, they didn't give a shit.
One nice thing about COD is there isn't a lot of language in it. Like, if I talk, there isn't somebody interrupting me from the game. I tried playing Borderlands, and once you commentate over it, you realize just how often all those freaking characters are talking to you. They're jibber jabber. You can hardly find 10 minutes of action where they're not, yelling at one thing or another, giving you instructions on where to go, and it's like, yeah,
Turn the sound all the way off.
all the way off's pretty off, but yeah,
That's what I always do. I mean, like, I don't know. Fallout is a slower paced game than Borderlands.
Oh,
But
for sure.
The cool
Yeah.
thing about Fallout, though, is it's immersive. Like, you actually get into it. You become your character. Like, when I played Linda Wreckface, I'm Linda Wreckface. I'm a, stone cold bitch that don't take shit and blow kneecaps off of shotguns. That's what I am. And, like, I'll be talking to a guy, and he starts talking shit. Be like, yeah, I'm the baddest in the wasteland. Like, oh, you bad, huh? Want to prove how bad you are? Let's go. I be getting into
So what?
it.
Wings dressed up like a girl too to complete the immersion as Linda Wreckface. So what?
Like, hold
Am
up,
I
motherfucker.
man?
I'm loading my Deathclaw buck right now. I was saving this. I got this off of Deathclaw. I was saving this for bitch motherfuckers like you.
I got this off of Deathclaw. And the thing about, like, the confrontations you have in Fallout, you'll have a series of, like, minor league confrontations, and every now and then you just run into somebody who's... You just gotta run from them, because they'll fuck you up.
Yeah,
There's a lot of bad guys.
Deathclaws.
Yeah, stuff like that. You're just like, oh, fuck, I ran into the bad guy, and now I'm going to die if I can't run really fast.
Oh, yeah, you ain't outrunning a Deathclaw. You gotta hope that he gets caught on something.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta, like, try to run up a mountain or, like, jump into a canyon, and I don't know.
Go into a building, hope he can't follow you.
Yeah, hope your companion somehow, like, you know, ties him up for a minute while you escape.
Yeah, tie him up being like gets slapped down.
There's a lot of bad guys in that game that are just way more than your match, and you know you'll be saving like that nuke launching weapon, literally a weapon that shoots nuclear weapons.
Like shoots 8 nukes at one time. Like I got this just for you.
Yeah, that you've been saving it for like, you know, days of like your real life playing time just for that guy.
And there's cool shit. Like, you ever see those like montages of Fallout where they put the landmines down and it like draws stuff and?
Yeah. There's people. It's one of those games that people find ways to have fun with, even when they've spent lots and lots of time playing it. They still keep finding ways to make it interesting.
You ever see that video of the guy sniping off 10P Tower, killing the mole rats and stuff?
I haven't seen that. I'd like to though. Sniping is really hard in that game.
Yeah, I mean. Ooh-wee. I think the nuke on Fallout 3 on 10P Tower is one of the coolest things ever in gaming. When you actually nuke Megaton.
Yeah, I didn't do it, but I've seen videos of it.
That is if you got a surround sound system or a nice headset on and get that shit cranked, that's so surreal. It's like,
I never understood why people would do that though, because that town seemed so valuable to you. There was so much to be gained by keeping that town around.
Well, it's just
very clear that you were supposed to keep it.
It's about immersion. You want to play a bad guy, you're a bad guy. You blow the town up.
Yes.
So is that it? We calling it or no?
I don't know. But see, Fallout's actually good.
That's my mistake. Yeah.
No, wait. I don't know if you've seen. I don't know if you saw me stream my modded Let's Play. Any of that? The game. If you put shader mods on it and stuff, the game looks freaking awesome.
Which game?
You know what happens with Fallout when I put shader mods on it? It crashes more often than it does already.
Then there's something wrong. I could if you're serious about modding it, I could help.
I don't want to mod it. I just want to play it and beat the shit out of it.
It looks good.
I don't care what the game looks like. I run games on low to medium settings so I can load faster.
Really?
Well, you have a good PC.
Yeah, you have an awesome PC.
I do, but the fact is, when I run on ultra high settings, it takes seconds to load instead of instant. I want instant.
It's not even true.
It is true.
It does take longer to load a game when you run on high settings, does it, Lefty?
I don't know. I've honestly never tested. I couldn't say one way or the
On
other.
Fallout, if I run on ultra high settings, it takes 2 seconds to go between areas. If I run it on medium to low settings, it happens instantaneously.
That may be true. I've seen Wings play Fallout, and he does have quick in and out of loading screens.
I literally don't have loading screens, pretty much.
Yeah. I do have loading screens, and there are hangs. Probably having something to do with all the mods I have installed. So maybe that's a thing. I don't know, but I could.
I value performance over weight. I don't care what it looks like. I don't. My truck hasn't been washed in a year and a half. If I'm not going to wash my truck, I'm not going to install a shader mod on a game.
It looks good, man. I'm just saying. That's fine. You value what you value in a game. You play it that way.
I'll tell you one thing I would mod if it was there. You might help me. You know how you go to eat food in Fallout New Vegas? I would really like it if I could press a button. It would just eat like a random piece of food in my inventory.
I don't know. The thing I found in modding New Vegas, they've got mods for everything. There's sex mods for Fallout New Vegas.
I don't care about sex.
Well,
mods.
right,
I got porn. I mean, who the fuck wants that? I can see real people have sex.
There are a lot of people that are in my stream like, you should put the sex mods on. I'm like, first of all, you don't understand how Twitch and YouTube work. Second of all, that's just weird.
I'm gonna have sex mods. I'm gonna go have Fisto on my Let's Play.
You can have fisting elephant mods.
Well, no, there's a robot called Fisto that has sex with you.
Oh, really?
In what game?
Oh, is that a Gamora?
It's no, it's in Freeside.
Oh.
Normally, I would be opposed to this, but Fallout is a game with so much prostitution and sex anyway. It makes sense.
You could go to Gamora and get a strip show from a ghoul.
I have to start Fallout. I haven't tried it yet. I'm told that I'm better than Wings.
Fallout is one of the best games ever made, if not the best game ever made.
Woody, you'll be better than Wings in no
Yeah,
time.
I mean,
Like, a
probably
week or two.
couple
you
minutes,
know, almost instantaneously. By the time you get done navigating the menus, you'll be way past my
I
skill.
don't know if you know this, but I'm widely regarded as one of the best players of every video game ever in the multiverse.
Dude,
Fallout ain't
you
about
have to
skill,
play
though.
for like
Fallout's
3 or
more
4
about
months.
memorization.
You have to play 3 or 4 months before you know how to use the menu.
Really?
It's pretty bad. But
Wow.
once you've mastered it, like it's because it's your Pip-Boy. It's like attached to your arm.
If you think the new ones are hard to learn, you should play the old ones. I plan on doing a Fallout 2 Let's Play here soon.
Well, yeah, I'd like to see Woody play Fallout New Vegas. That'd be cool.
It's a great game. It
is a fantastic game. It's one of those games I would take on a desert island with me.
Oh yeah, man.
There's so much to do.
Although if you're on a desert island, why don't you have your own real adventure, right?
Because my desert island in my head is like a square mile, and I could like go to one side of the island to the other in 30 or 40 minute brisk walk.
And how are you surviving this and somehow playing video games?
Because it's imaginary, dude. How am I getting electricity to fire the computer up?
And that is religion. You have it now. You just make it real in your head.
Wait, what the hell are lake lurks, and why do they kill my ass so quickly?
Shoot him in the leg.
Shoot him in the leg?
Yeah, you gotta cripple him.
I was walking around, like, I was by the whatever lake, I guess south of the Hoover Dam, and I'm...
Lake Mead.
Yeah, and I was just, what did I do? I had just done all the Novak quests, and the Helios 1 stuff, and I was just making my way
You're talking
north.
about Mirelurks. Are you doing the Mirelurk Kings or actual Mirelurk Hunters or just a regular Mirelurk?
No, Mirelurks are Fallout 3. Lake Lurks are what are in New Vegas.
Well, it's the same monster.
Wings,
yeah, but
come on, would you get on our level?
but I saw them like, ooh, what are these monsters? And then they
have that caprice on them that absorbs damage. You gotta either shoot them in the face, or you have to do that with the stealth, or it's easier just to cripple them and go like cripple one of the legs, then cripple the arms, preferably cripple left leg, right arm, because they're right arm predominantly.
Just gotta get that 50 BMG with explosive ammo.
Hey, you don't need that shit.
Hell
Get
yeah.
Veronica. Just get Veronica. Be like, hey, bitch, go get him.
Give it to Veronica.
I don't fight monsters. Fuck it. That's for chumps.
I did get Veronica's the one that's in the Brotherhood of Steel, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you get her the power armor from the Repcon.
Yeah, you get the power armor really early, and it's really overpowered. I'm playing on very hard on mine, and she can still dominate most of the monsters on there.
Okay. Oh, I should do that. I got some weapon mods. I got an M14 in there that shoots 308 rounds. It's really...
There's an M14 anyway in the game. It's called That Machine.
Oh, is there? Oh, well, this is a modded one.
More the stats are. Yeah, there's unique weapons as well, Woody. So like there's unique weapons. So there's only one of them in the world, and it has unique stats and attachments and stuff, and it's.
Wait, what kind of
this gun
1911 do you
suck or
have?
that gun?
I don't mean to go away from Fallout.
Rock
talk.
Island Armory.
Rock Island Armory. Just wondering.
It's just it's a World War II replica.
Okay.
It's not a great one. I'll trade you.
I wasn't trying to EP
Woody.
measure. I didn't even know if yours was better or worse. I was just wondering if we had. The
Woody
same
has a
one,
very
really.
nice one. I like Woody's a lot.
I wish my gun was 1/4 of what Woody has.
Oh, I didn't mean to be a dick about it or anything.
No.
Get it right? It's a horror. Amnesia just bored me. I didn't play very far into that. I got lost.
How did you like Fallout the other night?
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know you were even doing it. Why didn't you tell me? I totally would have watched you play Fallout.
Really? It wasn't planned.
I really would have.
Here, like I think a lot of people know this, but what happened was I was trying to get NVIDIA Shadowplay set up, and I couldn't like make it choose the right mic and make it choose the right camera. But at one point, like I went live on Twitch for like 10 seconds or something, but it sends out a tweet like Woody's live streaming. So all of a sudden I'm like, wait, what? Like I caught it on my Twitter. People were replying to me, and there's like hundreds of people like, Woody, live stream, do it. And I'm like, I don't know. There was like this roar of the crowd demanding an encore. So I was like, ugh. So start off the live stream. This is brilliant footage. Downloading Fallout. We spent like 10 minutes watching the progress bar on Fallout Vegas. Like go and then I played it, and I think Fallout can be a good game, especially like where I left it. But where I started it, I spent a lot of time not making progress. Like, for me, I don't love choosing my character's skin tone and beard and all that stuff. I don't love,
that's a waste of time.
Like setting up his character tree. I don't like some of the initial tutorial things. Like, I know that I need to know it and do it, but I wish that wasn't the case. I wish it was like I didn't have to learn the VAT system or the Pip-Boy or something, but you have to. So I think maybe the whole thing was 3 hours long, and I feel like I'm 15 minutes into the game. Whereas I
feel like I came in and tried to assist Woody at some point, and I didn't realize that he hadn't completed his current mission, and I was trying to get him to skip to the next one, and I really wasted at least 45 minutes of his time. Just completely wasted it.
Yeah,
what mission was he trying to go to? What was he on?
There was one in the very beginning.
Like, he had to learn how to make a healing powder, and instead I was trying to send him to like get that guy at the gas station and deal with a Ringo situation.
Yeah, the stupid. Oh, if you want to learn some more after you shoot the bottles, fuck that bitch, fucker dog too.
Yeah, you got to say no.
Yeah, say no, go do that stuff. But okay, yeah. So you can't get out of that.
But I guess I was in it, and I was right there, like maybe 10 feet from finding a plant, but he thought that maybe I wasn't or something, so he had me go on to the next mission that he knew from his head, from his memory, and I needed to finish the first one. So when the door was locked, we kind of realized that I had to go do the first one again. And my initial Fallout experience was really, really slow, and I think about my initial Borderlands experience, and it's probably the same, but I really liked that game. I just didn't have any missteps along the way, and I didn't customize my character for even a second or any. I think I just sort of instantly started playing. Maybe that's why my first few hours of Borderlands is better than my first few hours of Fallout.
Kyle, what's your strategy with the powder ganger situation in the first section of Fallout in New Vegas?
You're talking about
a way you could. Yeah, do you kill the powder gangers?
Yeah.
Like, are you just immediately okay? Because you can technically kill all the townspeople and be friends of the powder gangers, right?
Yeah, you could probably do that, but it just wouldn't be beneficial.
Why would you want to be friends with people when you can just kill them? It's a game. It's a point.
Yeah, I mean, they're convicts with dynamite they stole from miners they killed. I don't want to be their friends.
Yeah, fuck them. I'd rather be a rapist's friend.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? Oh, well, I think I will stream Fallout at least one more time. I don't know what it'll take to. I mean, I'm hearing you can play the game for like 100 hours, 110 hours, and not finish it. So that frightens me a touch.
Oh yeah.
Please do and let me know when you're doing so. I really love to watch.
I know. A lot of people have asked me to do it again. I was like, really? I thought that whole thing was a bad medicine, but a lot of people they want to see it more. I have a whole new topic.
I'm excited for Elder Scrolls Online. Sorry. New topic.
What's the first fight you were ever in?
I give Fallout 4 an 8. The only reason, and I only take away from it because, and I'm taking some. I've read a lot of reviews for the game, but some of the things that one of the things I saw pointed out that I agreed with was that your character. This is like the first 5 minutes, so not really a spoiler. Your character lived before the war, and he's been frozen, and he's been thawed out, and 200 years later into Fallout times, with the wasteland and everything. But after the first instance of going up above ground, he's not surprised when he sees any of the horrible creatures or that literally his neighborhood, his house, his hometown is completely destroyed, and you don't see it. You don't have that in the when you're talking to other characters and you tell them, you're like, oh yeah, I'm 200 years old. I was here before the war, and you would think there would be something in there where they're like, well, what do you think about all this? And he'd be like, it's insane. There's fucking giant wasps. I don't even know what a Cazador is. There's a Deathclaw thing. I'm wearing a huge suit of armor and flying around and shooting mini nukes. There are super mutants. What's a super mutant? He just seems to take it all in stride. And those are just little nitpicky things. Xbox One drops some frames every now and then. The waiting screens are still pretty long. And the graphics aren't what I would love them to be. But I still am just obsessed with the game, and I've got probably 17 hours in it so far, something like that. I'm a level 21. I love the new perk system, the new ranking system, where there is no level cap. I don't know if you know that. So you can you're gonna like all those perks. You can fill them all up. So like so if you put one in the wrong place, and you're like, oh shit, don't worry, because like you're gonna be able to fill them all up. I built my character with a 9 intelligence. In previous games, that's always been the ticket to ranking up quickly. You get more XP per kill, etc. So I got like a 9 intelligence. I think I put the like a 9. Whatever the one for VATS is, it's not endurance.
Perception.
Perception, yeah, really high perception, and then like maybe 1 charisma, 1 luck, 1 strength.
See, luck is way better than I thought it would be. Like, I haven't played it. Melissa and I are doing a Let's Play over on my channel, so check the link and watch that if you want. She's playing, and I'm making snarky comments as I do. And when she was making the character in the beginning, she put so much into luck that I'm like, well, fuck, this isn't going to be good. And one of the things in there is called, what is it? Like, stupid idiot? Or idiot savant. Where randomly, when you do something, you just get triple or 5 times the XP. And so we leveled like so quickly off the bat because you just kill one roach and it's like, oh, well, that one gave us 5 times as much as the most recent one, level up again. But yeah, I'll try playing it eventually, but so far it's more fun watching Melissa play because she's just
There's
better.
a few characters that I've never I always make a gun character and usually a sniper character at that, which is kind of lame if you ask me. And then if I do branch out, it's like, well, we'll make it an energy weapons guy and he'll have a Gatling laser. But what I really wanted to do, but I just didn't have the balls to do it because there's so much time invested once you make these decisions, was a melee character. I want a guy with a super sledge who just hits people and they explode and all that. I just feel like that's a hard way to play the game because there's so much range.
Is that a viable option in Fallout?
There's I think there are like sneaky combat moves. You can sneak up behind people and like break their necks and stuff. I may be wrong about that. I saw a GIF and that's what it looked like was going on. But there's lots of melee super duper melee weapons that do crazy stuff, super powerful weapons. And if you build your character to use them, then yeah, it's a viable option in close quarters. But my thing is like, what do you do at long range when there's snipers up on rooftops and your rifle's just barely affecting them on the harder difficulties? But yeah, there's lots of different ways to play.
I wish there was co-op. I would love to be your melee companion, and like you could have different roles. Like if you get in close quarters, I'm the boss.
I would love that. Yeah. You've got NPCs, companions. You've got the dog. The dog's cool. I like having the dog there. And I see everybody on Reddit's like super protective of their dog. They're like, you attack my dog, I kill you first. If you hurt my dog, you're the first to die. And that's how I am too. Like as soon as somebody like starts beating my dog up and they're like stomping it and hitting it with pipes and stuff, and he's yelping and he'll get hurt and be all fucked up, and I'm just like,
you have to waste a stim pack on him.
Don't do that. He'll get up after 10 seconds. Get the missile launcher out and wreck some house though. I love the weapon mods that you can do now. Like you'll get some shitty ass missile launcher, and I'm like, let's put a quad barrel and a night sight on this thing, and after a while, you've built some badass weapons.
That's like you in real life. That's right. You give an AR-15, he's like, you know what this thing needs?
3 more barrels.
A Pepsi can launcher. It's like,
they're trying to. I heard something about those can launchers. There's something about they're trying to call them a destructive device. So. We'll see if there's a new ruling on those.
Damn it.
That might have.
They're anti-fun. You really can't launch a Coca-Cola? Come on.
There's nothing confirmed there. That's what I was hearing pretty recently. Some murmurings about some redefinition of that launcher. I know the guy who invented it. I've known him for years. But those things are cool. He showed me his grappling hook, and it's really meticulous the way the thing folds out once it's launched and everything. It has to like fold together to go in the launcher, and then when it comes out, it all comes out and locks into place so that it's got hooks that'll grapple.
You know what else he needs? And maybe he has it. Does he have a net? Yes,
he's working on that as well. Yes. It's supposed to shoot nets, the grappling hook, the cans. It'll shoot the mini cans or the full size cans. Custom projectiles that you could make yourself. You could take the can. You could take an aluminum can and carefully cut the top of it off so you don't warp it, and then just fill it up with Bondo, which is like or fiberglass resin, or cement. Cement probably blow your gun out, but it's probably a way.
Have you fired it?
No, I haven't.
I was going to ask you about the recoil because it as you know, like you shoot something light like a regular American bullet, the 223 or 5.56. it doesn't really kick back very much because it's a very light thing you're pushing. You know, it is an equal opposite reaction, right? It's pushing against your shoulder with the same amount of energy that it's blowing out. If you're shooting a can, like that thing could potentially really push back on you.
It's not shooting it very fast. It's using a blank cartridge to do it. It's going to be negligible, just like a thump.
You think?
Yeah.
Are you shooting a can full of soda, or are you just using a soda can to hold other shit and then shooting that in the...
Either or. You can put a beer right in there and shoot that thing like a couple hundred yards across the field. And I've seen people, shooting... They'll take your launcher and shoot the beer up in the air and then shoot the beer out of the air. So
Does it come in too fast that, like, I could stand on one side of a football field and
I'm way ahead of you.
Mark it up, and I could, like, catch a Pepsi out of the air?
That's the plan. Yeah, that's part of my video. It's gonna be
Mountain Dew.
catch it. Yeah.
Can you
explodes all over.
now? Is that video trickery or can it happen?
I think it can happen. I'm not sure yet. It doesn't look like it looks like it's a big arcing lob, like a couple hundred feet per second. It's probably going 50 to 100 miles an hour, somewhere in there. But it's going to slow down by the time it gets across the field.
If you give the guy a baseball glove, then suddenly I think regular people could do it.
Pussy.
Yeah, I can see that the intro to that for Kyle, like, today we're going to see what we can do, and like stand there, wait for it, and then the next clip is him in a cast, like, very much underestimated force of Ken.
Not a bad Russian accent.
Yeah, you could be Nikolai, my weapons guy sometime. That'd be good.
That'd be cool.
You know what I was thinking about that I'd like to do a video of is fucking Fallout weapons, because I've been playing the game so much, and a lot of the weapons are like homemade. It's like they're literally pipe guns, and they've got like wood and like screws and like they're bound together to make them work, and big exposed springs and like nails instead of grippy handles and stuff. I could make that stuff.
I saw a Fallout tip online. You probably saw it too because it sounds like you're caught up on Reddit. But the guy renamed all his guns to start with the caliber, so he could easily compare the guns and I guess know what ammo he needs for them, which is nice because the gun was called like the Equalizer or something, and you're like, I don't know anything about equalizers.
That's a laser rifle with that modulator on the front. Is
The
it from the
Fallout
Brother of
one?
Steel guy?
Well, I think this particular one was a 308, so he just named it 308 Equalizer. I'm like, oh, that's a good idea because otherwise it would mean nothing to me.
Kyle, have you gone back to the beginning of the game? Like, when you're leaving the vault for the first time and you see that really dope weapon in the safe? That's like
I'm going
advanced.
back. The cryo weapon, yeah. I'll go back when I can unlock it.
I gotta. You know how you can build
I'll go get it now. Thanks for reminding me.
in Fallout, not right now. In Fallout, you can have a base of some sort.
Lots of them.
How do you get to it? Like,
you build it yourself. There'll be there's you build a whole community really. You just go out into the world, and there are places where you can do it, and you use this like workstation to construct various things you need, like walls, generators, power lines, lighting, wiring. It's a bit like Halo Forge, the way you interact with it, and you can build. There's going to be some crazy stuff built.
I guess,
like with my limited. Go ahead.
With Fallout New Vegas, the one I started to play, one of the issues I had was all the walking, and I feel like if I had a base, but that base involved 90 minutes of traveling, I wouldn't.
Fast travel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you just know where it is.
One thing that's really intimidating about Fallout, and I think it could turn new players off, or at least players who are watching the videos online, is the Pip-Boy interface. And I hadn't played Fallout in maybe 6 or 8 months when I got on the other night, and I was rusty at first. But once you get it, you've got it, and you're good. It takes maybe an hour, and you've memorized this new PDA that's strapped to your arm all the time, and through it you interact with everything. It's your fast travel, it's your missions, it's your inventory, your medicine, your weaponry, all that shit. But once you've got that, like, fast traveling is really quick, just zipping around places. There are loading screens, again, like I said, for Xbox One. They're probably better on PC. But the base building, you'll have settlers in there who are farming it. It seemed like there was like a Farmville aspect where, like, I was reading the ratio of like how much corn each settler needs or something like that. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's just another thing that's in there to extend the life of the game. I haven't really gotten into it that much, but I am aware of the tools and the things you can do. I'm wanting to see the guy who builds the mega base, the gigantic like Minecraft kingdom in Fallout, because I don't know what the limits are on the size of those things, other than resources, which you can are limitless themselves.
I don't know
if they did it in the old games, but I like I'm sure they did in the old games, which is why Melissa's playing in our Let's Play and I'm not, because I don't fucking know. But I like how you can pull the PDA thing, the Pip-Boy, up in the middle of a fight, and it pauses everything, and it doesn't just like set it in slow-mo. Because when you do the VATS thing, apparently in the old games, it was totally stopped, but now it's slow-mo. But you can still pull that thing up, and you don't have a panic attack trying to like fiddle around, get what you wanted to use before it, they get too close. I like that.
That's
like
a regular occurrence. Like that's just part of how I play the game. There's probably some purists that would say that's not cool to do, that you should have everything hotkeyed, but I frequently press B and I'm like, okay. I look at my girlfriend, I'm like, so that's a legendary super mutant brute. And he's got like 6 other guys with him. And I could probably handle one of those if it were just me and one of those. But there's like 7 of them, and that main guy, he could soak up 2 mini nukes in a row. So it's like, I take all my medication, get all drugged up and crazy, slow time down and everything, and start launching nukes. I've been playing that game a lot. I would like to make videos of it. What I'd really like to do is live stream it, but I don't have the capabilities here to do either. But many times I'm playing and thinking like, this would be entertaining content, because it's I'm just and it's mostly the game, because there's just so much epic stuff. And I know Woody didn't like the walking around in New Vegas, but to be honest, comparing this game and New Vegas is a sparse wasteland, and this game seems to be like littered with cool shit. Like I'm standing on a hilltop and just like I start rotating 360 degrees, just showing the world to my girlfriend. I'm like, every one of those buildings and like satellite dishes and towers, like that's a mission, if not 3 missions. Like every one of those needs exploring and like, looting out, and it's dozens of them in every direction. It seems like there's a place to go and a thing to do.
Are you staying like with the main mission pretty good, or are you branching all over the place?
I'm pretty far into the main mission. I'm at the part where I need to get some technology together so that I can get inside of the Institute. But I've stopped there, and I've started doing Brotherhood of Steel quests, and I've already done some of the Railroad quests, and a bunch of the Minuteman quests, and I don't know.
How many hours have you put in so far?
17 and a half, 18 hours, something like that. I got my T-60 power armor. I got my nuke launcher all upgraded. I got a pretty cool Brotherhood of Steel companion who just wastes people with a laser. I can kill just about anything. I've killed some legendary Deathclaws and stuff. I'm having a good time. And I think I mentioned it before the show, but the way they're doing like the ranking of the leveling of the enemies, if you're a level 20, in previous games it seemed like the highest thing you would encounter would be a level 20. But now the farther you go from your starting point at Vault 111, the more scary the creatures are. So there are level 50 creatures, which is the level cap. When you're a level 1, they're just really far away, and you'll never get to them because the level 7 creatures will kill you before you get to the level 10s even. But I like that because now as a level 20 character, I can load up with a lot of big, powerful explosives and stuff, and I can go kill some of that level 50 stuff if I'm really got my A game on. But it's not easy. I'm loving the game so far, though. I'm completely immersed in it when I play. Hours will go by and I won't notice, and my girlfriend is really upset. It just really feels like I'm neglecting her badly.
She's going to have to understand that's how November goes.
Not enough. She's like, there's not enough sex. There's not enough attention. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. So sorry.
You're just saying what?
They got my dog, honey. They got my dog.
I've known you for years, and this game's 5 days old. I'm sorry, baby.
Yeah,
those motherfuckers kidnapped my son and murdered my wife. I got business to take care of over here, and I really like. I am kind of concerned with the story mode. Like I'm like, they got my son. I got to get him back. So it's got me immersed completely. I'm loving Fallout. If you're a Fallout guy and you're on the fence, which I can't imagine why you would be, it's definitely worth the $60 and the inevitable 40 more for the season pass that I will pay. And I'll probably do the same thing for Black Ops, right? So I can get all those zombie maps.
Yep.
But yeah, 2 great games came out this last week. I love them both. I like Fallout for completely different reasons. Zombies is amazing and fun in a way that's completely different to how Fallout is amazing and fun. And I agree with you. I wish there were like a Fallout universe online, so that like me, you, and like maybe 4 of us could team up, and it levels so well.
Or something.
Yeah, it levels so well. Well, it's not, it's an open world, and the campaign exists within it. So it just had to be an open world It'd have to be the same game, but 4 of us now. And it would scale for that, I feel like, because there are enemies like the super mutant behemoth that's like as big as a building itself, and you need like a minigun from an airplane to take it down. So you could do it. It would totally work, but I don't think I don't think a console could run it. Xbox One could not run that with 4-player co-op.
You said that Zombies just released with 1 map, and at first I was like, really, just 1 map? That's weak. But I looked it up, and you're right. It is always 1 new map, with maybe like a throwback tossed in. Now, Black Ops 2, it was... Kyle, you're muted. That's funny.
Number 1. Number 2. Pizza pie in my eye. Oh my! Just like.